In this episode, a film based on real historical events during Japan's war of invasion against China surpasses 2 billion yuan at the Chinese box office in just 20 days, reigniting tension between China and Japan over an unhealed wound. China has issued its first ever universal subsidies for children under the age of 3, but many young people remain on the fence. A PR Waterloo for one of China's most successful electric vehicle companies reflects the broader reality of China's ultra-competitive EV market. Chinese authorities raise concerns about potential backdoors in Nvidia's H20 AI chip. Shanghai, like many other Chinese cities, has announced a generous AI support policy to promote AI adoption. I'm Chris. Now let's start today's China Currents. Last week, a film based on real historical events surrounding the Japanese Army's massacre in Nanjing during World War II ignited heated debate between China and Japan. Opponents of the movie, titled Dead to Rights, accuse it of promoting hatred against Japan, while supporters argue it's the first film in decades to provide a fair portrayal of the wartime tragedy. The story is set in Nanjing in 1937, the year the Japanese Army invaded and occupied Nanjing. Historically, the Japanese Army went on a killing spree after taking control, murdering over 300,000 civilians in just 6 weeks, along with perpetuating widespread atrocities such as arson, rape, and looting. The Japanese soldiers even took photographs of these acts as souvenirs. Though not the first movie in China on this topic, Dead to Rights stood out among its peers by grossing over 2 billion yuan at the box office within 20 days of its premiere on July 25th. It has also received high ratings, scoring 8.7 out of 10 on the popular Chinese film review site Douban. And to be honest, the disputes surrounding the movie are an extension of an already sensitive topic between China and Japan. It's not lost on the Chinese people that Japan has euphemized descriptions of the Nanjing massacre and its forced use of comfort women in school textbooks. Some Japanese netizens even outright deny the Nanjing massacre altogether. Far-right Japanese Senator Hiroki Hatsushi Kano even claimed online that the Japanese military is the most gentlemanly army in the world, adhering to the 3 rules of no arson, no rape, no killing. Aside from successfully tapping into the collective memory, the popularity of the movie in China is also attributed to the director's distinctive approach to the topic, in contrast to his predecessors who tend to climax the story with Westerners rescuing Chinese or Japanese invaders having a sudden epiphany of remorse. The director is appreciated by the Chinese audience for presenting a truthful picture of Japan's war crimes against humanity. Next, let's shift focus from history to the present, more specifically to marriage and childbirth in China. On July 30th, China's Ministry of Civil Affairs released 2024 marriage statistics, showing a 20.5% drop in the number of couples registering for marriage compared to the previous year. That's the lowest since 1980. Young people in China are not only reluctant to marry, but also hesitant to have children due to the mounting costs of child rearing. According to netizens, raising a child from birth to university in China costs an average of 680,000 yuan, approximately $95,000. Urban families reportedly spend an additional 2.37 hours per day on child-rearing labor. And this is where the Chinese government has decided to step in. On July 28th, China announced a new childcare subsidy plan under which families will receive an annual subsidy of 3,600 yuan per child under the age of 3 starting January 1st, 2025. This subsidy has no restrictions, such as those based on the recipient's household registration location, which is widely welcomed by parents. Renowned scholar Professor Di Dongsheng called it a breakthrough from China's 1,000-year tradition of fiscal conservatism, as the Chinese government has almost never used cash as a stimulus. The subsidies will be funded by both the central and local governments, with a high contribution ratio from the former, up to 95% in underdeveloped Western regions. Next, a PR Waterloo for one of China's most successful electric vehicle companies in an ultra-competitive industry. The recent promotional video for Li Auto's all-electric SUV, the Li Auto i8, has struck a nerve with the public over exaggerated PR campaigns, a common practice in China's cutthroat EV industry. In a video, the Li Auto i8 is shown surviving a series of high-speed collisions with a heavy truck, remaining basically intact after a head-on crash at high speed. Though it's not verified whether the video is fake, the Chinese audience is neither convinced nor impressed, Maybe it's the last straw for them, having been exposed to far too many convoluted, over-the-top advertisements from EV companies trying to stand out in China's fiercely competitive market. And finally, today we turn to developments in China's AI industry. Nvidia, the US chip giant that only recently resumed exports to China, was summoned by Chinese authorities to explain backdoor safety risks associated with its H20 AI chips, as US lawmakers touted tracking functions of advanced chips exported to China. The meeting between Chinese authorities and Nvidia took place on July 31st, and no further information has since been made available aside from Nvidia's official denial. Nonetheless, Nvidia should know to act quickly, because its Chinese competitors are wasting no time. One of the country's biggest metropolises, Shanghai, has just announced an ambitious 1 billion yuan, about $139 million subsidy program for the AI industry in an effort to build a world-class AI ecosystem. In addition, Shanghai is also offering generous compensations for companies that seek to recruit talent in the AI field. But Shanghai is only one of several Chinese cities gearing up to attract AI companies. Take Hangzhou, the birthplace of AI firm DeepSeek, for example. Last year, the Hangzhou government announced 250 million yuan, roughly $35 million in cloud computing subsidies as part of its AI industry support policy. The reality is, it won't be long before Chinese companies fill Nvidia's shoes. And that's all for today.
偷偷告诉大家，我最近发现了新法宝 Royal Face 逆时奇迹系列，它有活肤露、全效精华，还有精华霜。尤其我皮肤比较偏干，所以我非常的注重保湿。保湿做得好，肌肤自然烹润。提亮肤色更年轻，抚平皱纹超有感，而且气色变好。用心保养，每天都更美一点。美吧！偷偷告诉大家，我最近发现了新法宝 Royal Face 逆时奇迹系列，它有活肤露、全效精华，还有精华霜。尤其我皮肤比较偏干，所以我非常的注重保湿。保湿做得好，肌肤自然烹润。提亮肤色更年轻，抚平皱纹超有感，而且气色变好。用心保养，每天都更美一点。美吧！